today I'm coming with you with a review of something I use all the time. I never reviewed it. But this is the SMOKTech Magneto. This is what I'll be reviewing. As you see, it's got the label there. It's Magneto and the 1939 mark on it. This has been heavily used. I've had this for roughly 5 months. I use it most of the time. I mean, we're going to dive down and look at every piece in this thing. It's all stainless steel. They've also got a brass version. Some have the smoke label on the tube, and some are like mine where there's no label. There's also ones with no markings whatsoever on them. And of course, it's kind of dirty, but it's got the little spider thing down there in the bottom on the button. It is a magnetic button, which I like. It's got, you know, the reverse threaded lock ring, so it won't fire. When I first got it, yeah, these threads are smooth. When it's cleaned out, it's smooth. When I do the close-up, I have it cleaned out, so you'll see that. But, it's also on the top. It's got little air channels cut into it for your flush sitting devices. It does work pretty well with flush fit devices. I haven't had any real airflow issues. And this is version 2, the V2, just with the adjustable top pin that screws up or down, whichever you need it. It can run at 18350, 18500, 18650. And also kit capable with, you know, 18350, 18500s, whichever ones you want to use. The button, I like the button. It's really nice. It's easy to hit, and you can kind of get that click if you try to. I haven't had any real issues with the button. There was one little one, but it all depends on how well you tighten it. That's all. Then that's on we'll just do that on the close-up. I'm not going to waste that now. I'll close up here in a minute. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and dive down, get the close-up on this, and have a good look at the whole thing, inside and out. See you down below. Alright, so this is your SMOKTech Magneto, all taken apart completely. We'll go ahead and start down here with the switch. Here's your button, your switch. Here's your locking ring. Alright, so the locking ring goes on here. See, your locking ring going to go right here on this part. It is reverse threaded, remember that. See, now it's cleaned out too. It, you know, fairly easy, very little touch. Button up in there. Now this part here, this is where at first you might want to take yours out and just tighten this little nut here. That screws onto the magnet, onto the magnetic button. See, the button's got the magnet in it, and the other button's on this part here. So, or you can always sit here and play around with it, and I'll be like, well, I caught it. And that's how the button works. You got that magnet, you got this magnet, and they fight against each other. And you got to make that connection. Now, when you're screwing this on here, I usually like to, you know, get it as finger tight as I can get that, and take something. I'm trying to do this on camera, it's a little weird. Take something like I've got these little needle nose pliers here that kind of fit in there's little grooves on their sides there. Fit them in there, and just give it a little extra crank just to make sure it's good and tight. Because if that comes off, and if that little ring comes off and gets loose in there, it'll fire on its own. Okay, so that's your button right there, and your lock ring assembled. Now that connects to this piece here, which is inside this little Delaware piece. There's your negative connection for your battery, brass. That goes in That goes in there. A little spring. And you want the post to go in there in the spring. Tighten that on in there. Now remember, this is Delrin, it's plastic, so you don't want to over tighten this. Just want to kind of hand tighten that, because you can strip the threads. And then there's your negative for your battery. It's got that spring movement, and that goes into your bottom tube. If you look in here, you see there's a little bit of thread on the bottom, and then the top part's got a long thread. It's got a little stop in there. You can kind of see there that this will stop against. Helps if it's in the right way. So you gotta make sure that's your negative post goes in that way. And there's your magnet bottom. You'll also see here there's two little vent holes in there. It's at the bottom, as well as this has spacing on the sides that it can vent out the bottom as well if it has to. That screw. Trying to get this as quickly as possible, because I don't want to make these videos long and boring for y'all. Get that in there. There's a lot of threads. That's one thing. There's a lot of threads in these things, but good threads, smooth threads. Okay, so that's in there. Now you'll take your button and put that in there. You'll feel that magnet fighting it. But it's not fighting it hard enough that you can't get it on there. That's on there. So now your button and your base is fully assembled. Yeah, on the button you got the little spider deal, as well as Magneto. Some have smoke on the tube, some don't. This is one that doesn't. Then you got your telescoping portion here in the middle portion. It's just going to go in there. Either way it works, because it's going to work either way. Thread that bad boy on in there. My camera flipped on me, so it's kind of weird. I think it's showing it the right direction. Alright, now you've got your top cap. This side. There's your top cap. There's your channels, your airflow. Not really a juice well. There's not really much well there if you drop juice, and it kind of just condensates between the two. Now in here, I've kind of got a little gnawed up a little bit, but there's this little Delrin piece here, a little plastic Delrin piece here that's right in the center there. That's what holds your pin. Your top pin in there, and it holds it there, so you can adjust it up and down. I chewed it up a little bit with pliers, my bad. And then your top pin is brass. See, it's got a screw slot for you to be able to easily adjust it. I mean, it is easy to adjust. I've got a little screwdriver. I don't know where I've got it. But what you do is you get your post in there a little bit, alright? So you can see it's just kind of barely sitting up at the top there. And take whatever you're going to put on it. I've got a Nimbus clone, a broken Nimbus clone. And if you want to flush mount that, you flush it up on there. And go ahead and just take that little post and move it on up. Of course, my screwdriver is not right where I normally keep it. It's close by. And then you can just get that little snug it, make it nice and snug so you know you got a good connection. Throw in your battery, got a Sony 30 amp. And just like that, telescope it out to it. Put on the top cap, and then you can snug it together. And there it is, all back together. As you see, it fires just fine. Yeah, and it's instant fire. That's one thing I like about the mechs. Instant fire. Let me go ahead. Also, grab these two here. This you can also hold an 18500 and 18350. Not really going to fire these because they're not set up to run the sub-ohm. Go ahead and put it 18500 in there. You know, it's the same concept there, but on 500 you've got a lot more space, so you can tighten that top cap all the way down and telescope that body all the way down. Snug that battery up. Just give you a little idea of what it looks like here. There's your 18500. Just a quick burst. Because it's not safe to sub-ohm with a battery that's not rated for it. I think this can hold down to 0.6 ohm for this battery. I'm at 0.4. I'm not even. This definitely ain't gonna be safe to fire it with 18350. So you're gonna want a little bit of top sticking out to hold on to, so you can put the top cap on there all the way down. And share the body up all the way. And then there's 18350 mode. And it is small. See, it fires. I'm not putting that too much. So there's your 18350 mode. Okay, there's the whole Magneto. And there's an 18650 for size comparison. You see, it's barely bigger than an 18650 at that point. So it makes a good, nice, small little stealth mod if you want to use it. And that way, I mean, see here, my hand fully fits around that thing. The atomizers are barely sticking out. But yep, this was the SMOKTech Magneto. Alright, and that was the Magneto up close and personal. I mean, I like it. It's been a good solid device. I mean, it's $50 for one of these ish, depending where you get them from. But it's a good device. It's good. It's solid. It's got some. There is some voltage drop. See that when hooking a little, not a scope. I don't have one of those. I've just got, you know, the little voltage meters, and it's a little bit of drop in it, but for $50, it's a good mechanical mod. If you're looking to start into mechanical mods, it's a good one to start with. You know, and it's easy to adjust. So whatever you need it for. For the tank, you just put that on there, and then you can just screw your pin up to it, perfectly fine. And you can easily, you know, just kind of adjust one or the other, tighten the top, tighten the bottom, you know, to get the fit you want. Yeah, it's an easy one to maintain. It does kind of scuff up a little bit over time. I don't think there's much way to avoid that, really. Not with something like this. But one thing we're also going to do is I'm going to give one of these away. You have until, we'll say February 15th. If I can give it a good, you know, 2 weeks. February 15th to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Comment on this video, subscribe to my channel. You'll be in the drawing for one of these. You have until the 15th. I'll do the announcement on, I'll say the 17th. No, I'll just give it a few days so I can write everything down and get all the names and all that together, you know what I mean? Give it a little time so I'm not rushing into this, you know, with work and everything else. So 17th, we're going to put out the video and show who the winner is. It's going to get a Magneto. Better looking than this, brand new. I'm not going to get a used one. So remember, comment, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Got plenty more reviews coming along the way. See y'all later and vape on.